Deep within the silent corridors of history, they wait. Silent witnesses to a world long vanished. The mummies of antiquity hold secrets that have defied time itself. Wrapped in layers of mystery and linen, these bodies were prepared not just for the grave, but for eternity. But how did the ancients turn mortal flesh into immortal stone? From the sun-drenched sands of Egypt to the frozen peaks of the Andes, the practice of mummification is a global phenomenon, born from a universal human desire to defy death. In Egypt, it began with the earth. Natron, a naturally occurring salt, was the secret white gold. It worked by osmosis, drawing every drop of moisture from the body to prevent decay. The brain, seen as unimportant, was removed through the nose with a bronze hook. It was a delicate, skilled operation that left the face intact for the spirit to recognize. A small incision on the left side allowed for the removal of the internal organs. This act was both practical and deeply ritualistic, often overseen by priests wearing masks of Anubis. The stomach, lungs, liver, and intestines were cleaned, dried, and placed in canopic jars. Each was protected by one of the 4 sons of Horus, guardians of the deceased. But one organ remained: the heart. Believed to be the seat of intelligence and the soul, it was left inside, for it had to be weighed against the feather of truth in the afterlife. After dehydration, the body was anointed with precious resins and oils, frankincense, myrrh, and cedar, to restore its fragrance and seal it against the elements. Then came the wrapping. Miles of fine linen were used, often inscribed with magic spells. Amulets were tucked between the folds to provide protection on the perilous journey ahead. Finally, the mask was placed. It wasn't just a likeness. It was a way for the spirit, or the Ka, to find its body and achieve immortality in the fields of reeds. But the Egyptians weren't the first. In the Atacama Desert, the Chinchorro people were mummifying their dead 2,000 years before the first pyramids were even built. Their mummification was egalitarian. Everyone was preserved, from infants to elders, using clay masks and reed-stuffed bodies to maintain a presence among the living. In the high Andes, the Incas mummified their rulers, treating them as if they were still alive. They were brought to feasts and even consulted on political matters. These mummies were placed in a sitting position, wrapped in exquisite textiles. To the Incas, death was not an exit from society, but a change in status. In the frozen Aleutian Islands, bodies were mummified naturally by the cold and wind, then placed in sacred caves to watch over the seas and the living. In the peat bogs of Europe, nature performed its own alchemy. Bog bodies, preserved for thousands of years, tell stories of ancient sacrifice and ritual with haunting clarity. Intriguingly, the ancients didn't just preserve what was there, they replaced what was lost. This wooden toe is one of the world's first known functional prosthetics. These were crafted not just for life, but for the afterlife. A complete body was essential for the soul to be whole in the next world, showing a remarkable blend of faith and engineering. Over 4 millennia, techniques evolved from simple sand desiccation to complex chemical processes that required a professional class of embalmers and priests. By the 19th century, mummies were so common they were sometimes ground into powder for medicine or unwrapped at Victorian dinner parties as a form of entertainment. Artists even used mummy brown paint made from ground-up remains to achieve a unique, rich pigment for their masterpieces, a literal brush with death. Today, we use CT scans and DNA analysis to peer beneath the bandages without disturbing the silence, revealing truths about ancient health, diet, and even royal lineage. The very word mummy comes from the Arabic mumia, meaning bitumen. It was wrongly believed that all mummies were preserved with this black substance. It wasn't just humans. Millions of animals, from cats and ibises to crocodiles, were mummified as offerings to the gods or as beloved companions for eternity. DNA testing has recently solved ancient murders and identified lost pharaohs, bridging a gap of over 3,000 years with the science of today. The mummies of the world are more than just remains. They are a bridge to our past, reflecting our deepest fears and our highest hopes for what lies beyond. We've traveled through time and across continents today. Which of these facts surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this dive into ancient mysteries, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow. There are many more secrets waiting to be unearthed.